What is up, y'all? It's your girl, brand new, and honey, I am back in the building. Listen. This time, honey, I am back for a recap of the Belle Collective reunion for season 4. This will be part 2 of the reunion. So let's get off into it. Child, that Latrice and Cliff, honey. They got the backpedaling, they got to denying, deflecting, and projecting. Okay? Those two, honey, they know they is a trip. But anyways, honey, the episode starts out with Latrice. She's backstage talking to her friends, and she's mentioning what Aikisha said about her. You know, that she's sad. I'm gonna say this. Latrice, you are sad. I know that you are sad because as soon as Carlos got to talking to you, you began breaking down and crying. So if you're sad, just admit to it. You know, you keep lying. And that's why the girls, they're going to keep coming for you. Because they are trying to keep you honest. They're trying to get you to tell the truth. And you refuse to do that because of what? Because of shame. That's why people lie. That's why a lot of people have imposter syndrome. Because of shame. I can't let them know about what I'm really going through in this marriage. She doesn't have any good friends around her. Good friends tell you the truth. Good friends hold you accountable and responsible for your actions. And whatever friend that was back there kept saying, oh, well, you know, you're just sad because they keep hating on you. Where are these haters? Are they imaginary? Girl, don't nobody want to be in a burning house. That's the same thing with Melody and Letitia Scott. Some of y'all swear up and down Melody is jealous of Letitia. For what? She's in a burning house. Yeah, but she hasn't been able to prove that Marceau cheated. She ain't got to prove that. Tisha is still in a burning house by how he talked to her, how he treat her. Okay, she is the last priority on his list, and we all see it. But people like to deflect and deny and, you know, and make everything about cheating, and I'm not here for that. We'll talk about more of that on Love and Marriage Huntsville. We'll talk about that then, but that, like, gets on my nerves. Another thing I noticed, Tambra wasn't saying anything to Latrice. She wasn't saying anything because Tambra has nothing to offer. Nothing. She needs to go. Latrice says, I'm a little girl, but with grown money. See, everything is about money. Everything is about, you know, superficial things. That doesn't make you who you are. I've told you guys before, and I will tell you again. Low self-esteem comes out in your personal life. Low self-esteem comes out in your personal life. You could be doing great business-wise and be in a burning house. Because with money, you can at least, you know, make yourself look good. Okay, you could dress nice. You could buy the, you know, the latest fashions, the latest vehicle, the latest phone. You can go to all the popular events around town. Like, you can always put on a show. Okay? So, girl, you're not fooling nobody. Letitia, we see her in her dressing room. She accuses Latrice of planting seeds of doubt. Glendale is back there patronizing Letitia. You're a queen. You're a queen. You shouldn't come off your throne. If she's such a queen, why you don't treat her like one? Okay? And as he's saying this to Letitia, he's smiling because he really doesn't really care. He doesn't really have a dog in the fight. He will act like he do. And then he goes on and says, well, Latrice is a different caliber of woman than you are. Well, then why did you want Leticia to be more like Latrice? Do you see how the people on here be lying? Okay, they're not consistent with their thought patterns. You done already said something else, nigga. You thought we forgot? We get to Marie's package, her dating. She says she likes conservative men. She says that the guy that Leticia hooked her up with for the date was a lot of fun. It didn't look like she had that much fun with him. His name was Playa. He wasn't her type. Carlos King kept calling him E40. He called Glendale Lil Boosie and called Leticia Young Miami. I was like, child, that's a hot mess. Marie didn't answer on being a Republican. You know, she also denied sleeping with married men. We know that Glendale accused her of that. They talked about Lula, her mom. She's still in treatment. Marie feels bad that she's a multimillionaire that still cannot help her mom because it's a problem, Marie, that money can't fix. Okay? They talk about Marie being mean. One of the fans accused her of being mean. They also accused her of being a bully. I don't get mean and I don't get bully from Marie. I think she gives me a baby Nene Leakes and I so appreciate it. She's no nonsense. She's confident. She just tells it like it is. And when you are around fake women like Tambra and Latrice, you know, you go call them out each and every time, and that's what Marie does. So I really like Marie. I love Leticia, Marie, and Ikesha. Like, them my three that I really like. Marie also talks about how she's clocked in for work. She said that Latrice just started clocking in. Tambra doesn't clock in at all. And I have to agree with that. Tambra brings nothing to this show. She brings more confusion. Tambra, she didn't give the baby Damon's last name. That's a red flag. That lets me know you don't plan on marrying him. She tried to say, yeah, but I did that because we're not married. Girl, plenty of people don't marry the father of their child and they still give the child the man's last name. So if you really planned on marrying Damon, you would have gave the child his last name. This is what I'm talking about with Tambra. I do not like her. She's fake. She denies, she deflects a lot, and I'm not here for it. Marie, I guess, revealed that Tambra was pregnant. I guess she had a pregnancy before this one. It didn't make it to term. I guess Marie told everybody about it. Marie says she didn't know that it was a secret. Marie said that she didn't know that, Tambra was dealing with this domestic situation, I guess, with the ex-boyfriend. I was so confused. Even while Tambra was trying to clear it up and interrupt Carlos, I was still confused. Like, girl, what's going on? Like, girl, you're lying, Tambra. Okay? Marie says that she felt like Tambra put her life in danger because she had no idea that, Tambra was going through all this stuff with the ex-boyfriend. Tambra denied all of that. Her and Latrice said, well, everybody knew. Leticia and Marie, they denied, knowing all of that. And I believe them because they wasn't even on speaking terms with Tambra. Tambra claims that she went down to the radio station and talked about the situation with the ex-boyfriend. I'm still confused. Why are we talking about him? You with Damon now. Marie called out Tambra, and I thought it was very interesting. She said that you are using Damon for your storyline. You guys aren't even together. I believe it. Everything points to that. Not giving the baby his last name. He wasn't even at the reunion. You can't tell me her mother or sister or all them light-skinned women, honey, we saw on the show, they couldn't keep that baby. Tambra girl, you's a fraud. We see the husbands. JJ had God darn it in his hair. I was cracking up. JJ gives Carlos a God darn it t-shirt. Carlos asks Leticia, is she glenning? She says she is, They get to Latrice and Clef. Latrice says, yes, my man, girl, my man, that's abusive. Shit, finish the sentence, okay? Carlos brought up, is there any abuse in this relationship? Now, clearly, we all see the clips of Cliff grabbing Latrice by her arms. I also saw pictures of her arms, and I saw bruises on Latrice's arms. So I don't know if anybody doctored the pictures up, but I saw bruises. I do believe that Cliff is abusive to Latrice. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Okay? I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because in my personal opinion, Latrice told on herself. Okay? So Carlos gets on Cliff calling Latrice a bitch. Now, when Latrice was asked, does Cliff call her a bitch when they are arguing, she was hesitant to answer. She then threw herself under the bus and says that it's her that calls him a bitch first. And Carlos says, that's not what I asked you. I said, come on, bitch. Come on. So, Latrice, the jig is up. We all see that you are in an abusive and controlling marriage. You can deny it all you want to, but girl, the writings are written on the walls, okay? The writings are on the walls that man is controlling you. You even got your friend, Josh, who stayed with y'all, co-signing that he's controlling. Anytime you grab somebody the way that Cliff grabbed Latrice, that's abuse. It's being controlling, popping up. That shiggity that him and Glendale do. I wish they would have got on Glenn's ass too, because to me, that's abusive. So Latrice denies all the abuse allegations and says, this is how I knew she was telling on herself. She says an abused woman would try to cover up. And this is one of those things where you're trying to cover up your mate's bad behavior, but all the while you are telling on yourself. She told on herself when she said that. Okay? She also projected onto the other women. That's why Leticia kept saying to her, girl, stay with you. Stop talking about us. And Latrice can't do that. She's like a little kid. I have to blame other people or bring other people into my bullshiggity. She accused half the women on the cast of being a victim of domestic abuse. Aikisha said, who's the half? See, like when you get to the point where you just start lying like that, and we didn't hear any of these women say, well, hey, I've been in this situation, or hey, this may have happened. Like, why you throwing them under the bus to make yourself look good. Like, make it make sense, Latrice. So that right there, that was another sign, in my opinion, that she's being abused. Carlos asks Leticia, did Latrice ever mention anything to her privately about abuse in her marriage? Leticia said she would never reveal what Latrice told her in confidence. And I was like, okay, Leticia, but there's two sides to this. I feel like maybe Leticia probably shared some stuff with Latrice, probably about Glenn, that maybe she don't want to get out there. So I was kind of looking at that like that, because y'all didn't came to blows, and you didn't want to, mention anything that she may have told you. But okay. Cliff says that Latrice could easily call the police on him. Aikisha says people get their ass beat all the time and don't call the police, which is true. Okay? Latrice also asks Cliff to marry her. Why you asking this old ass Grady off of Sanford and Son, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles looking ass nigga to marry you? Girl, that's a big red flag when you want marriage more than that man. He mentioned he liked being single. He liked playing the field. So, girl. Then he got to saying all this bullshiggity about, oh, you can't help who you fall in love with, which I feel like is the biggest crock of shiggity I have ever heard. You can control who you fall in love with. You can. And a lot of people use that. Why? Because they don't want to be accountable or responsible for the mate that they choose. Okay? Remember that. When people say that, that's a red flag. But yeah, this man, he's abusive. We could just tell. Cliff says he doesn't have a tracker on Latrice's phone. They do share locations. Cliff said that he was upset with Josh. And he took it out on Latrice at M Bar. He didn't like that Latrice was at M Bar with Josh. Cliff says he apologized to Latrice for calling a bitch. I feel like any apology that Cliff did on the show was because he was being called out for his bad behavior. And that's what abusers do when they get caught. It's like, yeah, let me hurry up and clear it up. And that way it could go away. And, so yeah, I didn't think that he was being sincere about that or his apology to Josh. Carlos kept asking. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention to this. He kept asking Latrice, does she feel safe in her marriage and her household? Now, why would he keep asking her that? Because he knows where there's some smoke, there's some fire. Okay? Then Latrice hurry up and says, yeah, of course I'm safe and I'm happy and I'm happier than all the other women up here and all this bullshiggity. Then Cliff get to saying what a lot of people say when they want to cover up some shiggity, okay? I know how to read between the lines. Every marriage has problems. We know that, okay? But nigga, it's probably not problems with abuse. With you calling your wife a bitch, you grabbing her up. Okay, you following her, popping up at places, all of that, disrespectful and abusive. Okay? Josh ended up speaking. I want you all to go back and watch the reunion and go look at Latrice's hand. One of her hands was shaking when Josh was talking. It was like she was afraid he was going to really spill their tea. Okay? She was shaking. She was nervous. And she kept having like these nervous facial expressions. Now, I didn't watch some reviews. Everybody has been calling that out. Well, maybe she just, nervous because it's the reunion. No, it's a nervous of where there's some smoke, there's some fire, and these people about to spill all my tea on me being abused at home. You got to remember, if you're being abused, it's very shameful. You want to cover it up. You want to hurry up and get away from those allegations, right? And that's what she did, the whole reunion. She projected, brought the other women into stuff when Carlos was clearly asking about her. But her type of personality wants to throw other people under the bus. I wanted to do a birthday reading on all these women. I couldn't find anybody's birthday. So if you could find the birthdays, I will do a reading for this cast. But I could not find anybody's birthday, which I thought was very strange. But I do know that Latrice is a Libra. I think I did see something on her Instagram. So maybe I'll look more into that to figure out what exact day. We got Josh. He says that he doesn't like how Cliff talks to Latrice. That's his issue. He says that he doesn't believe that, Cliff is putting his hands on her. He just doesn't like how Cliff talks to Latrice. Josh says that Cliff is hostile. Cliff apologized to Josh, but he apologized only to make himself look good. He knows that, he said and has did the wrong things to Josh. Behind the scenes, on camera, he knows it. That's how abusers are. Let me hurry up and apologize. Let me hurry up and take accountability and responsibility for my bad behavior. That way we could stop talking about it. That's what it was giving. Carlos tried to get Josh to get up, and what? Josh refused to get up. He, at first he didn't accept Cliff's apology. Towards the end of the reunion, he said he'll just accept it. And I could tell Josh pretty much just accepted the apology so that they would just move on. But I was like, what does Carlos want Josh to do? Get up and shake Cliff's hand? Ain't nobody shaking that old ass man's hand. He's evil. He's mean. He's controlling. And when these type of men are in relationships with women, like Latrice, they will treat other people around their mate bad. That behavior doesn't just stay with the wife. It makes it to her friends. And in my opinion, he wants to isolate and alienate Latrice from Josh. He doesn't want her to have an outlet. Okay? Cliff, he also mentioned that he didn't marry Latrice just, because she was young and just so, he could control her. He denied all of that. And I say, survey says, that's a lie. That's why a lot of older men get with younger women, because they know that they don't have a lot of experience with men and they can treat them any kind of way. And, they're smarter, they feel, because they're older than the women and they're quicker and they can, do a lot of game plan, with that woman, right? That's why a lot of them like younger women. Cliff also tried to downplay the relationship that he has with Josh, I guess behind the scenes. Carlos called that out. He said it seemed like y'all was really cool. And I feel like he tried to downplay that because Cliff has a problem with gay men, and a lot of so-called straight men, they have issues with gay men, not because they are messy, but because they may be gay themselves, and there's a huge shame, stigma attached to that. Okay? We also saw that when JJ brought out the stripper for So Gucci. And Cliff, what did he do? He never stopped looking at that stripper, and he called up Leticia and started some shiggity between her and Glenn. But he never stopped. He was looking at that stripper. So a lot of these type of men, they are very much so attracted to men, a lot of older men especially, but they have a huge shame about it, because back in their day, it wasn't popular, and accepted the way it is now. Aikisha, Carlos, and Latrice, they go to comfort Josh at the end of the episode, because, Josh was crying. He's in his feelings about this, with having this beef with Latrice's husband and seeing how nasty Cliff is. It's a lot. So I liked how all of them, checked up on Josh. And I like seeing Josh on the show. I think he brings a lot. Cliff mentioned that Josh is coming for one of the Belle's jobs. He could replace Tambra very easily. I wouldn't mind that. Latrice does need a friend on the show, but at the same time, I don't know if it should be Josh per se, maybe a woman. But I wouldn't mind seeing more of Josh on the show. I like his personality. I like a person that is willing to, take up for their friend and defend, their friend from their abusive husband. So I really do like Josh. And that's all I got, you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I am your girl, Brand New, and I will check you guys out in the next video.